For updates on sports stories across the globe, Aaron Akerijola joins us. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Ayo. Good morning to you, Zimba. And good morning to you, Wilson.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
Let's get straight into it. Some good news coming in. And we must say Nigeria has actually won our second medal. Yay. This time around the silver. And Nworgu, Esther Nworgu, Ogechi Nworgu, actually bringing this one in. She was literally in tears. Watershed movement for her, I must actually say kudos to her and what she's actually done in the 41 kg women powerlifting. Now, like I mentioned last week, powerlifting is our sweet sport, and we're going to be getting straight into it. So the medals are beginning to actually pour in, and she was literally in tears there in Paris. Later on today, medal hopefuls are actually on the lineup today. All right, in women's shot put, Goodness Chimere Nwachukwu by 10:40 this morning, and later this morning also 400 meters for the women, Hannah Babalola. 11 a.m. today, Bosse Bejide in powerlifting also, but in the 50 kg. And later on this evening, Thomas Kure in the 65 kg for the powerlifting. So a lot is expected in the powerlifting. We know medals are going to begin to trickle in and pour in. $10,000 indicative for her. Kudos to her and what she's been able to do. Away from that, the Super Eagles camp is actually open as we speak, and training has actually begun for that crucial qualifier against Benin Republic this weekend. 22 players are in camp, and Victor Osimhen is still expected, and we'll be keeping an eye on that particular one. But let's talk about the Ballon d'Or list. For the men, the women, and coaches, the 2024 Ballon d'Or list has been released. 30-man short list, and Nigerians' own Ademola Lookman is amongst those that will be there. Of course, this is the first time since 2003 that neither Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi will be featuring. Of course, the likes of Kylian Mbappe, Lautaro Martinez, Ademola Lookman, Antonio Rudiger amongst the 30-man shortlist. But kudos to Ademola Lookman, who had a surreal season, understanding that he helped the Super Eagles get to the finals of the Africa Cup of Nations and also helped Atalanta get and win the Europa League finals last season. So kudos to him. We're wishing him all the best. It's becoming a normal thing right now. It was Victor Osimhen, the last edition.
Not on this list.
Osimhen had a subpar season.
Last year?
Yes, he had 15 goals, not enough to actually get into the brackets at the moment. But we'll be talking about Osimhen in a moment, but let me just quickly touch on the US Open that is actually going on right now. And the natives, those from US, are actually dominating. Okay, yes, let's start it off with Yannick Sinner actually beating Daniel Medvedev on the day. All right, 6-2, 6-1, 6-6, 6-1, 6-4. All right, Yannick Sinner showing great impetus and showing that he's a very versatile man in tennis, because when you look at it, he's been getting to finals in major tournaments, and Medvedev cannot just get past him, because you can actually see it in the Australian Open. Sinner beat Medvedev. In the US Open, he's beaten him. In Wimbledon, he's beaten him. So Medvedev might need to rethink his strategy anytime he's going against Sinner. For the women, it was kind of strange, because we were expecting Iga Swiatek to actually win this one, but she was beaten by American Pegula 6-2, 6-4, and the favorite has been dumped out of this particular tournament. But we still have a lot of Americans still in the offing, and let's see how that one actually goes. A lot is expected from the Americans, because they Francis Tiafoe, Taylor Fritz, Jessica Pegula, and Emma Navarro. These are all the people that have punched the ticket to the semifinals of the US Open. So kudos to them. And quickly, because of time, let's talk about Victor Osimhen. I had a call with Victor Osimhen yesterday, and thanks to Amaju Pini for actually setting that one up. And we spoke at length, and he poured his heart out to me. But because I didn't get the permission to probably record it, and he hadn't landed in Nigeria, so we couldn't actually do this. But I actually summarized all that had actually happened with Victor Osimhen. Of course, before then, Galatasaray did a video to actually welcome Victor Osimhen. He's going to be earning about £113,000 a week, if they can actually help us with that particular video there for Victor Osimhen. But if that's not even possible, let's quickly press it further. There were a lot of things that were said, and he tried to correct all the lies and the claim that he was heavily betrayed and things that were bordering on slavery, because there's been talks about slavery in football, and it's unfortunate this was happening. Let's actually get straight into it, starting off with the first graphics there that just actually encapsulated it. And this goes back to 2022, because Victor Osimhen actually had a great 2022-2023. And if we were to start it off from that particular point, certainly looking at it, he said that Al Hilal actually came in 2022, not even in 2024, and they offered 75 million. Napoli said no, that 500 million pounds on nothing. That scared them away. In 2023, PSG came, according to Victor Osimhen, and he said that they offered 150, and SSC Napoli turned it down. In 2023, they had a gentleman agreement between SSC Napoli, the club, Laurentiis, the president, and Victor Osimhen, that Victor Osimhen will get the release clause, 130 million, but that means that after 1 year, he will go. So he was meant to get transferred from the club this year. But the club did everything humanly possible to actually keep him in the club and tie him down to the club. And he said, things are not so well with me. Of course, PSG also came for the second time. 110 million they put on the table. SSC Napoli still insisted and refused to buy the cherry. If we were to press further than that, of course, in that particular conversation, he still went on to talk about the fact that his mental health was heavily impacted after the whole coconut issue, the thing on TikTok and the rest of them. He said there was no going back afterwards. And things were happening within the club ranks that he could not speak about. And of course, when Antonio Conte came in, Antonio Conte pleaded with him that he should stay. And he told the coach, I love you, I would have loved to play with you, but things have deteriorated so bad that I cannot stay at the club. But the club went on to put out a statement that Antonio Conte did not want Victor Osimhen in the club. Of course, Antonio Conte yesterday night released a statement to that particular effect, just trying everything humanly possible to probably suppress Victor Osimhen. Of course, his defiance and refusal to play for Napoli and sign a new contract meant that he was frozen out of the squad. And he also claimed that Chelsea came in, and Chelsea and the owners that are hedge fund mavericks, so to speak, tried to swoop in and act like sharks like they do in the US, and just the typical hedge fund thinking, and they were trying to capitalize on this. They were already bidding for Victor Osimhen, talking with SSC Napoli, without talking to Victor Osimhen, as far back as the 1st of August, according to Victor Osimhen, if we were to press it further. And they were trying to do so much with Victor Osimhen without even including him. Then Victor Osimhen had the PIF come back again with Al Ahly this time around, saying that they were going to buy Victor Osimhen for an agreed fee, and they were going to pay him £30 million per annum. Personal terms were agreed for his daughter to get a school there, get a mansion, and every other thing in between. And SSC Napoli on the 29th found a way to scuttle to that particular deal by moving the goalpost and insisting they wanted more and more. And they said they wanted 5 million more. Victor Osimhen called the club called Al Ahly and said, no problem, if they want 5 million, I will give them from my 30 million. To just make this move happen. And Napoli said no, they wanted the sell-on clause, they wanted more bonuses, they wanted this, they wanted that, and they ended up scuttling that particular deal. Of course, Al Ahly went on to buy Ivan Toney, and that was unfortunate. Then Chelsea, trying to become predators here, found out that Victor Osimhen might become desperate, and they decided that they were going to do something very, very funny. They offered him about 130 million. 30 minutes after that particular deal with Al Ahly went off, they offered him £130,000 a week gross. And Osimhen said no, that 43% goes to the British government, 20% goes to the NHIS, I beg your pardon, which is compulsory, and you still take £20,000 of that 130 for image rights. How is that possible? What is now left in the salary? If you take out 43%, you take out 20% from another, and you now take out £20,000 from deal 130. And it was unfortunate he said he wasn't going to bite. And they were holding off, waiting, and trying to press him through Napoli to ensure that Victor Osimhen gets desperate and takes this particular offer. And Osimhen said, if this is what Napoli wants to reduce me to, I'm going to call their bluff and I ain't going to move. I'm going to be on their wage, stay for 3 months, and let's see how that one goes. And on and on and on. And Chelsea went out, and according to them, they put out a statement there that he wanted 500,000. And according to Mikel Obi, who was helping engineer that particular deal, nothing like that was actually put out there. It's unfortunate all that has happened. All they tried to do was grind a man to a club where he said he wasn't part of anymore, he didn't want to play for anymore, and he didn't even want to have anything to do with them. He didn't want to touch the club with a 10-foot pole, but they insisted and said, you must stay and do as we want, which is unfortunate.
You know, ladies, I've listened passionately to Aaron, and the only thing I've heard is that he has more money. That we're all looking for to either import petrol or whatsoever.
Exactly.
Everything I heard was the jazz. I was just reading all the graphics and I said, oh my God, why are we looking for this money? Aaron is just sitting on the money next to us. We should have brought him here and get some.
But Aaron, very quickly though, I just want to celebrate African women's football, because on that Ballon d'Or list for the ladies was Barbara Banda from Zambia and Tabitha Chiwenga from Malawi. Well deserved. So awesome to see African women are starting to make their mark in women's football. Fantastic.
So in the event that Ademola Lookman doesn't bring it home, he's the only African on that list. Bukayo Saka is British Nigerian born. That list is British, but if in the event that he doesn't bring home that award, then we can trust the women, to do it for us.
Women's ministry always.
Barbara Banda has been quite the force.
But the England trio might give her a run.
But Bomati has been a greater force.
Is that kind of sports for 50-year-old plus that I could still go into? Perhaps. I can make some money at the end of it.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And the sad news on the Ugandan athlete as well, who's died, the one whose boyfriend set on fire. Unfortunately, she's died. But thank you very much, Aaron, for your report this morning.